Hi everyone. We are certainly experiencing very, very different times. Today, Club Down launched its first episode of its new downtime. And over the next few weeks, we'll be chatting with many guests on their memories of better days gone by. Until then, stay safe and stay sane. Good luck. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Right, we'll get this started. A few questions come in over social media. All I'm going to do is I'm going to read the questions. You boys are going to do the chatting. In 1991, was there any moment in a game that you thought we're going out here? This isn't going to happen.
Is that like after the match?
No.
Because I can tell you that we went out after every one of them.
That's why you put training back to Wednesday nights. Couldn't get home for Tuesday.
Well, I would say the first match against Armagh.
Aye, in Uri.
Yeah, that chance Jim McConville had, that split second I thought we were gone. Because I thought he had the chance to put the ball in the net, which he probably should have.
Aye.
But, apart from that...
Was that far much into the second half?
That was near the end of the game.
Was it?
What was won by?
2 points, did we?
2, yeah. Yeah.
The bit I was worried about in that was when Pete told Mickey to hit the penalty.
As we later found out.
Why? Why hit it well?
Oh, you did that day. To be fair to you, did.
About 3 months later, you didn't hit one very well.
Very fair, never killed.
You nearly killed the umpire.
We'll move on. Next question.
On the flip side of that, was there a moment in any game that you thought, Jesus Christ, we could win an All-Ireland here, apart from the final itself?
Well, I think when after we won the Ulster, I was very confident of going the whole way. Like, personally, that's what I thought anyway.
After the Ulster final?
Yeah, definitely. The way we're starting playing really good football then, when everybody was getting on the same wavelength. I thought then that we had a good chance. Like,
the last 15 minutes of the Ulster final was some good football play.
There was some good celebrations after points scored too.
Paul, we should have top score that day. I done a Mickey that day. I missed the centre.
Just the one, Paul.
What are we doing that far up the pitch anyway?
I was following Wee James. He normally come into the back line twice, so I'm going to play him in his own game.
Here's one for you, Gregory, from a young fella, a young neighbour, Connor Poland. Which player growing up inspired you to play for Down, and why?
God. See. The club
I won't be embarrassed, Gregory, if you mention it.
I suppose like watching probably on TV, like you would have seen All Ireland finals and that, probably Jack O'Shea. You know, probably Brian Mullins, Jack O'Shea, players like that, Kevin Moran. You know, that's what you'd have seen television. And then obviously going to Down matches then when you're a little bit older and maybe going to National League matches, obviously Mickey was probably
The tail end of the 60s.
I was big 12. Mickey was, I think he was maybe captain of the team at that stage, the seniors. He'd been there a long time, so when you see people like Mickey Lint, you think, you know, you got a chance here.
Gregory and I had the advantage of watching you boys playing for Down as we were growing up.
Weren't you lucky?
As you know, my father managed the team for a wee while, and I remember going to the training sessions around the county and kicking the balls out to you boys. So I'm taking a certain degree of credit for your shooting, etc. That you got as many shots in a training.
I remember you coming to training, and at that time the warm up, kick the balls out to the middle of the field, and 5 or 6 boys will jump for them and kick the ball in, and half a dozen of defenders will try and catch it, and you were in the middle of them. You were in the middle of them. I don't know what age you were. You must have been 15, 14 or 15.
Yeah. Well, I'd have been 13 in the National League in '83 when Mickey was playing. Mickey would have been probably 32 at that stage, so Mickey was a very mature player.
It's funny, that was one of the questions that was asked, that for a whole lot of people, 91 sort of came out of the blue, but during the 80s, Down weren't that far away. Under your dad and Val, James, I think 81 they won the Ulster Championship, 83 they won the National League. With Sean Smith, God rest him, they got to an Ulster final in 86, was it?
Yeah,
86. The Miners won the All-Ireland. They won back-to-back Ulster titles, 86 and 87. And then they went on to win the All-Ireland in 87. Did you feel during the 80s that something was going to happen, or was it like the rest of the county, we just came on the scene and happened in 91?
I didn't really play for the seniors in the 80s, but it wasn't a year nearly went by, Ross, that Down were not talked about as favourites for Ulster. Like, all through in the 80s, like we were talked up, we were playing Division 1, we were playing against the Kerrys and the Dublins, all through the 80s, playing Division 1 football, but always seemed to mess up come Ulster Championship, and we were seen as certainly a, you know, we lacked character, we lacked, you know, strength and depth, we lacked boys with bottle, and so we were, during the 80s, Down was certainly carrying that around with them, I felt anyway, with lots of good players who just weren't pulling it together, and should have been an Ulster final. And sure, you know, 86 was one that got away. Like Slim might have put his feet over the line, but his chest probably was out at 14. You know,
there's no way.
Yeah.
I was playing left back that day, and there's no way him and the ball were across the line. Like, it was an absurd decision. But what did you feel, Mickey, playing in the 80s with, you know, you came
probably
on
the early 80s, you know, you felt you had a chance, but the feeling was that whenever you run up against the likes of Kerry, if you did happen to meet them in a championship, because they were kingpins at that time, that, you know, having the belief in the team to beat Kerry at that time would have been, you know, they were a super team at that time, you know. Yeah. But I do say we had a good team in '86, a really good team, and unfortunately we didn't get through. But then look when Tyrone did go on through, like, Kerry wiped the floor with them in the All-Ireland final. Do you understand?
Probably in the last 15 minutes, but they had a chance with a penalty to go, I don't know, 10 or 11 points up at one stage.
Well, this is it. You never know when you get there what's going to happen. But, you know, I felt maybe it would have been a bit too early for us anyway. But you could see that there was quality in the team. The likes of James and Connor coming through in the early 90s, late 80s, you know, it sort of completed the jigsaw, if you like, you know, of what we needed to go forward.
I remember talking to Colin McIllarney couple of years ago, and asking him that question about did he think it was a surprise when Down won the All-Ireland in 91. He thought it was a surprise it took so long because he was playing against a lot of the players on a weekly basis in club football, and he thought the standard was really, really high. I just wonder what it was that we just couldn't get over the line. I do believe, James, you're 100% right. There were times in the 80s where Monaghan, Tyrone, Donegal nipped us in the Ulster Championship when we probably should have pushed on won games. Paul, you were on the panel from 86, 87, were you?
86, yeah. 86. Sean Smith, I think, was the first manager I had. But never really got on with him. He didn't understand.
He didn't understand.
There's a common thread running through the managers then, really, isn't there?
I actually joined as a forward. And then, I don't know what it was.
We didn't understand it.
I was 18 or 19. Like, the last thing you're worried about is football. Different things to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mickey,
no, but like all them games you're talking about, at the end of the day, the knockout back then, you're only one game away from, you're always only one game away from getting beat or one game away from a semi-final or a final.
Yeah.
So, and a game could turn in anything, So it was different.
What year did Gregory, what year did you join Gregory? 1990, was it? Or 91?
Well, yeah, 1990, after the under 21s after 1990 season finished. So I started playing National League 1991, 1990, 91, I think, or something like that. I joined after they were in the National League final against me, was it?
Yeah.
National League final against me, that following the year started, and I joined in that, so whatever that was. It must have been late 1990 then. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back then the league started before Christmas.
Yeah, so it was the year I started then and around that. So.
Yeah. That 1990 championship defeat to was it Armagh after a replay, only for James in the drawing game where he scored the 2 goals in, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 minutes, James, or 5 minutes anyway. I think it was probably one of the lowest points we ever reached, because we knew that Armagh weren't going to win anything after beating us, and I do think, looking back, Pete and John maybe decided after that they were going to change the personnel as well. It was I'd
say that's the last time they beat us for a long time. Then they never beat us after that for a long, long time. Armagh, we beat them all the time. So easy during the 90s, the early 90s anyway.
They give us there was a couple of games at the end 90s. They give us an awful hookings in the Ulster Championship. We'll maybe not dwell on that too often. Mickey, Damien McGovern from Bourne, Tommy's fella, he sent in a question for you. He said that the time that you got hit with the elbow, did it affect you the rest of the game? Because obviously you got an awful slap. We didn't know at the time how bad it was, but looking back on clips of it, he must have caught you full on.
So you played shit, Mickey, and did a dig in the mouth. Pause that. That's really what he's asking.
Like a toss were you?
How could he miss that mouth?
Well, on a serious point, yeah, he did hit me and he caught me in the mouth, and it did take smell salts to bring me around. But I suppose if it had been nowadays, I'd have been off the field and with a head collision, I wouldn't have had the chance to play in it after that. So I didn't think I played that badly after it, It was involved with
But, very sensitive, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But on a serious note, you know, nowadays I'd have been carted off and I wouldn't have had a chance to play on, you know. So at least back then I got playing the rest of the game.
Yes. The a general one from Eamon Fagan. Out of all the great players in Down who missed out in 91 and 94, who would you have wanted to be part of it? I'd say that's Eamon Fagan from the Point, is it? The first and last.
I would have said, having played with him through Queens and having played in the match that he actually got injured in, that Brian Conlon, if he had been fit, wouldn't have been far away. May rest in peace. But Brian coming up through the minors and playing at Queens with him was a super, super talented football, big, strong, quick.
Yeah,
He wouldn't have been far away.
Were you in minor and under 21 with him, Paul?
Yeah, but he didn't play number 21s. I think he must have injured then. But he played in the minors. He played out in the minors. I played in the minors with Neil for 1 year. Then Neil's older than me, you see, so he wasn't there next year. Neil's probably 2 or 3 years older than me.
One I remember from school.
You know, you played minors over age, didn't you, Neil?
For 4 years.
Yeah, he was good. But sure, everybody would say Shorty as well. Shorty Tinner would be another man you could throw in that list of Bundy, Mason, you know. They're all fellas that missed out. They were great footballers. Like.
I know when I joined the panel in 83, like there was a couple of Tommy McGovern, Brendy McGovern, John McCartan. They were Rusty McCaulfield, Paddy Kennedy. Like they were serious servants to Down.
Yeah.
A story about John McCartan. I don't know if you ever heard of it. We played Donegal in a National League match up in Ballybuffet one year, and maybe 86 or 87. Q. John Harper used to take the. He used to have a highest. Do you remember Mickey or a people carrier or something? One of the first ones out of Rafferty's in the Point, and. We lifted, John hadn't trained that whole week, and we lifted him at the 4 mile, and he was dosed with the flu. He lay in the back of the car the whole way there. He was playing centre half back for Down that day. I think it was in around the time Byrne were going to the All Ireland. And maybe they weren't training with us or weren't available for that game. John played and was man of the match. From centre half back, I think he scored 1-1 or something. And on the way home, he lay shivering the whole like 2 hours on the back of the motor on the way home. He was a serious bit of stuff for Down in the 80s. Strong as a horse.
Is this recorded, Ross? Is people going to see all this?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll say nothing
Edited. Ross, can it be edited?
I don't know how to edit it.
I'm saying nothing.
Where are you away to now? Are you away to the bike again?
She's up.
No, don't go there, you.
Do you think the team of 1991 to 1994 could compete in today's game?
Yeah, we'll probably clean up. we all could play football back then. Well, you don't know what they're at now.
Do you think they can compete, Neil?
You have to say so. Like we were a fit team, we were a big team, we were a strong team. You know, and if you were getting the same kind of conditioning and the same kind of time off, you know, I mean, you obviously couldn't pit each other against. But like, could the damn players pit against us if they were getting the kind of training we were getting and still having to go to work, etc. And then if you switch it another way, if we got as much, you know, time with weights and food and everything else that's going on and every type of conditioning nowadays, I definitely think we were a good enough, big enough, fit enough team we could play in any era. Yeah, right.
Ross, turned on his head, do you think they would have competed in our era with the physicality and the man on man? Like now, you know, back then it was Mickey Litton v Faye Devlin. 20 years or now it's Mickey Litton v the Tyrone defence because there'd be that many men back there. So it was a braver game back in our day. It's safety first now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for you two, for James and for Mickey, you know, probably when I would look back on our squad, I would say we were pretty fortunate to have three of the best forwards in the country at the time on the one team. How would you cope, or how would you change your game to play today? Would it be frustrating for you?
Yeah, Mickey, no doubt it would be very frustrating. If you're in corner forward and there's a man beside you and two men in front of you, what do? You have to try and reinvent yourself. To be honest, I think the people on the pitch now, they get the most freedom is the wing half backs, and because the wing half forwards are dropping off those guys to go back and cover, and you find that the wing half backs are the guys who are having the most space. So I suppose if you're asking me where I would like to play now, it's probably wing half back with the blanket defence. You're getting the ball, all easy ball, and well, all right, you have to figure out how to break it down after that. But look, to be a corner forward in this day and age is hugely difficult. Hugely difficult.
Given the wing half back such an important role and his passing so important, we're in trouble. With Kelly in particular, the only option was to drive it in long and hard to James.
Well, at least you knew where it was coming from. You had to just keep looking up.
But the other thing about we had a lot of good footballers, but we had some decent lads to come off the bench, and that's very important now too. I mean, it's a squad game now, so there's a lot of lads there, the Cahill Murrays and boys like that who could come on. Kieran McCabe when he came on up, and Paul Higgins when he came on up, and Derry as well. You know, but good lads along the line as well could come on and make a difference as well, which is important these days.
I know what's coming now.
Let's go record it.
I think John Kelly claims an assist and an Armagh 92 for the goal. Did he kick the ball underneath 92 coming out of the Stars?
Was that the one that you scored in Athletic Grounds?
Yes, I think he swung his left foot at that and came down from the sky.
Swung his left and it hit his right.
Are you sure it wasn't a top, James?
Well, he's the only man that actually can kick it further or can toe tap the ball further than I can kick it.
Mickey, do you think we would have been able to cope today in today's game?
Just as the boys were saying, Ross, it would be a different type of game. You'd have to adapt to suit the game. Obviously, you know, as James says, wing half back at the minute is probably the best position to be in. Even cornerback. You know, you see cornerbacks making explosive runs up the field. You know,
I used to do that anyway, Maggie. I did that 4 years ago.
Not often enough.
Sure, I was ahead of my time.
When the game was won, you could always count on Higgins for a point.
For a pint.
Off, James.
Listen, I would say I'm sort of delighted I'm not playing now, you know, because of the way the game has gone. But I still say that whenever people get to Croke Park, it becomes that wee bit more open and you play more, you know, standard, where you usually do keep 2 and 3, 4 forwards up in the forward line because there's plenty of space. But it's getting to Croke Park to be able to allow yourself to play that game. If you watch the games even now, when they go to Croke Park, they are that bit more open and there is some brilliant football play.
Mm. Is it much bigger, James, the Croke Park than other pitches, or is it just the sort of the feeling it gives you?
Well, I remember my time as managing down. We were going to play teams and so-called smaller pitches that our guys felt that it wouldn't suit, such as Armagh. I had them measured, and look, there's not a huge amount of difference between the perimeter and circumference of the pitches, but sometimes the surroundings, the closeness of the stand gives an impression of the pitch being smaller, and the players don't go as close to the sideline, so it plays smaller. So most of the pitches have not a huge amount in it, but just Croke Park has that aura of being the biggest, and it might be slightly bigger, but from my memory, whenever we did a research, there wasn't much in it, you know.
Yeah. As Mickey says, it just seems when you see All-Ireland semi-finals and finals now, especially maybe from a seat above the pitch, there seems to be plenty of space.
Yeah.
Well, here, lads, I'll let you get back to the home life. Thanks a million.
As always, lads, keep yourselves safe.
Yeah, stay safe, man.
Yeah.
Stay safe, lads. Stay
Thanks,
safe.
lads, and we'll do
We'll
this
get a night
again.
out someday.